Situated. Check 1, check 2. Let's go ahead and boom. This is not what I'm looking for. All right. If you cannot hear me or see me for some reason, fire something into the chat. Let me know. And we're off and running. Welcome to the stream. Happy Monday. 0 for 3 last night. We'll get to that. Kind of unends a really good early part of the day. So we escape with a little bit of profitability, but not great. Update and reminder, the next stream will be, this feels like it's on a tilt. I don't think I did anything there. I think I literally just moved it over and then back. Sounds about right. The next stream is going to be Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, like we always do on Thursdays, with the exception of some rare occasions like last week. We had no Thursday game, so we bumped it to Friday, and we talked college football. We'll talk college football again on Thursday, but we will be discussing Patriots at Rams. Nice little Thursday night matchup. Rematch of the Super Bowl, so you got to figure hopefully New England's defense can do something to the Rams to keep this thing close. We've got 3 games to get to today. First, the recap. Every bet last night lost. We were red hot. I had the wrong shirt on coming into the Sunday night stream after a red hot Sunday. Noticed it before I gave out the picks. Changed shirts, back into the lucky shirt. It did no good. Kelsey went flying over his total. Chiefs didn't cover the second leg of a teaser, and Drew Lock couldn't even use garbage time to get to. Drew Lock stinks. I don't need to say any more on that, but he didn't get to the over on his very low passing prop. 0 for 3. Total now 106 wins, 133 defeats, 1 tie. So all the goodwill we built up yesterday morning to try to cut into this thing, blew it last night. That's okay. Shake it off. Move on. 2 games we're going to talk about today. I don't have anything for the Ravens and the Cowboys. Although I'm pretty sure I just realized now that I sent this stream out and said this was going to be in the preview, that it was going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cowboys. I am all messed up with this stuff. The Tuesday game between Baltimore and Dallas. I don't have anything on that right now. I'd love to give you some notes. I'd love to give you some bets. Maybe tomorrow I'll fire up a quick stream, or I'll just put it on Twitter at Joe Fortenbaugh with some bets, because I'm going to have something on that game tomorrow. I'm going to want the action. But right now I got nothing. Oh. I'm wrong. Man, I am not on point today. I do have 1 bet. I have 1 bet on that game. I forgot about that. All right, we'll get to that in a little bit. The point of what I was trying to get at was the focal point is going to be mostly on this Niners-Bills game, because that's where I got most of my action. I got a little bit on the early game, which is Pittsburgh hosting Washington. Let's start with that. Weather in Pittsburgh for today's game, kickoff around 5 o'clock Eastern, is going to be about 33 degrees, very low chance of precipitation, and 10-mile-an-hour winds. So it'll be cold, but weather shouldn't be a major concern. And Washington is a cold weather team as well, so it's not like this is going to catch these guys off guard. Injuries to report for this game. Steelers are going to be down Bud Dupree, outside linebacker, gone for the season. Devin Bush was lost for the season weeks ago. I think it was the Baltimore game, and now you've got Bud Dupree out for the season as well. So the hits keep on coming for the Pittsburgh defense. Cornerback Steven Nelson is doubtful. That's another key starter, meaning he's probably not going to go. Chris Boswell, the kicker's doubtful as well. Never a good situation, and he missed an extra point last week. And Big Ben's questionable, although he's expected to play. For Dallas, again, I said that. Washington, defensive end Ryan Anderson, offensive tackle Morgan Moses, wide receiver Terry McLaurin, F1, are all questionable. So the updates on that come out about 90 minutes before the game. Line movement here has been wild. So Pittsburgh was an 11-point favorite on the look-ahead line. And now they are as it continues to drop, either 6 or 6.5 point favorite. I'm going to take you through it with my mindset. Last week, as all this was breaking down and that line came out, they're laying double digits. This is before they had played Baltimore. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, Pittsburgh's going to hammer Baltimore, and then we're going to have a chance to get double digits with Washington, and Washington is going to cover that game. It was going to be one of my favorite bets, absolute favorite bets. The main reason was Washington hasn't played since Thanksgiving. They're going to have a lot of extra rest. Pittsburgh was going to beat up on the hated division rival. Big win, short week, quick turnaround, classic flat spot for Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, right? That was the mindset. And then Pittsburgh played awful against Baltimore. Tomlin called it junior varsity after the game. And now, not only has the line readjusted, it came back out at 7 and has been bet down to 6, 6.5. But at the same time, I no longer think it's a flat spot for Pittsburgh. I think they played so poorly against Baltimore and they heard about it all week that they're going to be ready for this game. And Kansas City continues to win. So Pittsburgh, if they want that 1 seed, and remember, only the 1 seed gets a bye this year. If Pittsburgh wants that 1 seed, they can't take their foot off the gas. Somewhat dangerous opponent the way Washington's been playing. They've been getting better and better. So right now, I do not find myself liking Washington like I used to. In fact, I've got 2 plays on this game. Neither one I love, but I like them enough to bet them, so I'm going to throw them out here. Pick number 1 is going to last all the way until next week. I am going to tease the Steelers from 6.5 down to 0.5 point. So I need them to win the game. And I'm going to tease them with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are a 6.5 point favorite over Minnesota for next week. Tampa's coming off the bye. They're going to be finally rested, healthy, ready to make the playoff push. Love that spot for the Bucs. I'm going to tease them down to 0.5 point. So I need the Steelers to win by 0.5 point, and I need Tampa Bay to win by 0.5 point. That bet's going to be pending through the next 3 episodes of this show. So just be ready on that one. Wait, that's not a night game, right? Okay, good. It's an early game. So it'll only really be mentioned in 2 more streams, Thursdays and Sunday mornings. So that's bet number 1. Bet number 2 is I am going to play the under here at 43.5 points. I think this is going to be a sluggish football game. Washington's offense can score. We saw that against Dallas. Dallas's defense is terrible. Now, Pittsburgh could be down Steven Nelson today. They're going to be down Dupree. They're already down Devin Bush. But even though these guys are going to be somewhat gassed, I don't think Alex Smith is going to be able to tear them up. I think it's going to be tough sledding. Washington could win the game. I could be wrong on the teaser. I don't think Washington's hanging 30 points today. I think it's going to be a lot of punts. In fact, if you can find some punt props, I'd look into that. And I also think Pittsburgh's offense, while they will be better than what we saw last week, isn't going to be lighting the world on fire for 450 yards. Roethlisberger's a little dinged up. Again, it's a short turnaround, and Washington's defense can play. They're a decent unit. So the way I see this, a relatively low-scoring game in which I will be teasing the Pittsburgh Steelers down. And like I said, neither one of those plays stands out as an elite play. I would let you know if I thought it was like this fantastic smash. But that's where we stand on the early game. Not a ton of action. Pittsburgh in a 6-point teaser with Tampa Bay. So we're going to have to wait till Sunday to cash that. Under 43.5. Those are the 2 picks for the first game. Second game I really like. So the Niners are hosting the Buffalo Bills, but they're hosting them in Glendale, Arizona, where the Arizona Cardinals play their games. Why? Santa Clara County, which is where the Niners stadium, Levi Stadium, is located, very strict with their COVID rules, no gatherings, none of that stuff. So the Niners couldn't practice there, and the Niners couldn't play there anymore, at least for like this 3-week stretch. So the Niners have moved to Arizona. The whole team moved down there. Everybody. They're not just like traveling down to play and coming back. They're taking up shop down there. They left last Wednesday. So they've been down there for a few days. And they're going to be down there for a couple weeks because they got another home game they're going to have to play. And I believe that as we get close to Christmas, Jed York, the owner, is going to be flying all the families down there as well so they can be with the players. And that's awesome. Players, coaches, staff, all that. That's awesome. Wonderful. Santa Clara County, got to wonder what they're doing. But that's political, and that's really not for this stream. This stream is about whether or not the shirt's lucky and apparently losing picks. So it would seem to be an unfavorable situation for the Niners. And it is to an extent. But if there's any team built to handle this situation, they're built to handle it. They've gone through situations like this over the last 2 years. At the beginning of this season, weeks 2 and 3, they had a road back-to-back against the Jets and the Giants. After playing the Jets, they went down to West Virginia and hung out there for the week, practicing, working, and getting ready for that Giants game. They didn't travel back to the East Coast. They did this last year as well, and they did it twice. Beginning of the season, they had the first game of the year at Tampa Bay, second game at Cincinnati. And they stayed in Ohio to get ready for the Bengals game. Later in the season, they were at Baltimore, followed by at New Orleans. played the Ravens, stayed in Florida for a week, got ready for the Saints. So this team is used to situations like this. A lot of teams might be thrown off. I wouldn't use that as an analysis for why you don't like the 49ers. There are reasons to not like the 49ers. I don't think the fact that this game has been relocated is one of those reasons. So we'll start with that. Weather's not an issue because it's in the big toaster. Injuries for this game. K'Wan Williams is out. He's the primary slot cornerback for the Niners. George Kittle's out still. Garoppolo's still out. Emmanuel Mosley, who backs up K'Wan Williams in the slot, he is questionable. The Bills look good. They got nothing to worry about. Brandon Ayuk is back. Deebo Samuel back for the Niners as well. So the Niners are getting healthier, but it's Mullen quarterback. So there's still some concerns, especially without George Kittle. So that's where we stand. Line move on this game has been interesting to say the least. It's been crazy Niners money. So the Bills were a 2.5-point favorite on the look-ahead line, and it just kept coming all the way down until it hit 0, and then it went up towards the 49ers. And right now, at most places, it's 1.5, but 2s are popping up. 2s are popping up. So this thing has moved as much as 4.5 points at some shops. As we jump into the picks, I will tell you that I like the Niners minus 1.5. That's where we start. The strength of the 49er football team is the rushing attack. Kyle Shanahan is the best in the business when it comes to formulating a game plan for his rushing attack and then coordinating a game plan for his rushing attack. He's got his full complement of running backs here. Raheem Mostert, who you're going to hear more about in a little bit. Jerick McKinnon, Kyle Juszczyk, Jeff Wilson, whatever. All those guys, Tevin Coleman. Mostert's going to be the featured guy. But Shanahan's the man when it comes to calling, designing, implementing, coordinating rushing attacks. That's his thing. Buffalo's Achilles heel is defending the run. That's my rationale as to why the line's moving. I think this game sets up really well for the Niners because if you can run the ball with consistency, you can grind the clock. You can control tempo, right? You can dictate the action in a game. And that's huge for a team that needs that kind of help with some of the injuries they've been sustaining. Plus, Buffalo's really good. But Buffalo's 24th in run defense, and I believe 28th or 27th in opponent yards per carry, right? So they are victim to the rushing attack. You can run the ball. You can keep that Buffalo offense on the sidelines, including Josh Allen. Now, I would say the one concern for me, which I'm going to bring up in a little bit regarding Josh Allen, is the fact that the Niners historically, with this defense, have struggled against mobile quarterbacks. They've struggled against Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, list goes on and on. Mahomes is a mobile quarterback too. I'm not talking about necessarily guys that run for lots of yards, just guys that can break containment and buy extra seconds for their wide receivers to get open. Because Niners have a pretty good pass rush. But if the pass rush can't get home, you can take advantage of the secondary. So what we're looking at here is I am going to play the Niners minus 1.5, which is pick number 1. I'm also going to play 2 Raheem Mostert props, over 53.5 rushing yards, as well as over 12.5 carries. I think he's going to be a big featured point of this team in this game. And if the Bills are blowing out the Niners, then I'm probably screwed on the carries because they're going to have to throw the ball late. But I don't see that as the case. Even if the Niners lose this game and I lose this bet, I don't see this being a Buffalo blowout. Perhaps it could be. I don't see that being the case. I think the Niners are going to be able to run the ball in this game. And as a result, I think they're going to be able to run it for 4 quarters. I like Mostert over 53.5 rushing yards and over 12.5 rushing attempts. That leads me to Josh Allen, who I'm going to bet over 30.5 rushing yards. Told you earlier that the Niners struggle against mobile quarterbacks. Get this. No team in the NFL has given up more rushing attempts or rushing yards to opposing quarterbacks. Think about that. Running quarterbacks, mobile quarterbacks have run all over this team this year. Russell Wilson again, Kyler Murray, Taysom Hill had some success. So Allen is at 30.5 rushing yards. Doesn't Josh Allen have an ankle problem? He might be a bit dinged up. He's not listed on the injury report. So if he's battling something, it's not serious enough to be listed. But that's a very good question. But I would take him to run here, at least enough to get 31 rushing yards. So that's where we're at on that. That's 5 of the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 of the 7 picks I liked. So to recap the Niners game, Niners minus 1.5. Mostert over 53.5 rushing yards. Mostert over 12.5 carries. Josh Allen over 30.5 rushing yards. Those 4. We're also taking Pittsburgh in a tease with the Buccaneers this weekend. Both teams will be at 0.5 point, so they just have to win. And under in the Pittsburgh game, which is 43.5. Final pick tomorrow. Dalton to throw an INT. Yes, minus 160. If you remember, and if we lose this, I'm counting this as 2 losses. I know we just give the record here. If this loses, this isn't just one. You're laying that much juice. That counts as 2 losses on the record. Just like we counted that one fight with Teofimo Lopez. That was 3 wins. He was like plus 330. We counted that as 3 wins. We'll count this as 2 losses. Dalton has thrown an interception in every game he started this year. All right. I'm not going to give you a whole lot of rationale for this. If you watch the Thanksgiving stream, you knew we bet it. We cashed it. We're betting it again. We're riding this one until he doesn't throw INTs. And then when he doesn't, and he comes back to start the next game, we're betting it again. So we're going to just keep riding it. Dalton to throw an INT, yes, minus 160. If there are any questions, feel free to fire away. Happy to have a discussion. Couple others I was looking at. First touchdown props, look to Brandon Ayuk for the San Francisco 49ers, the rookie wide receiver from Arizona State. He's back tonight. I saw him 12-1. You might be able to do better elsewhere. He leads the Niners in red zone targets, red zone receptions, red zone receiving yards, and red zone touchdowns. 3. He's also found the end zone in 3 of his last 4 games. He leads the Niners in all those categories, despite the fact that he's only played 8 of 11 games. So Mostert is most likely the guy that'll find the end zone. And I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But if you want maybe a little bit better odds, take a little bit more of a flyer, Brandon Ayuk is the guy to score a touchdown. Anytime touchdown, yeah, I would look to that as well. Obviously, it won't be as good as 12-1 because that's the first touchdown. But him to score a TD tonight, I like it. They move him around a lot. When you talk about good corners shadowing guys like Tre'Davious White, who's a very good corner for the Bills, LSU, I think he's been around 3-4 years. This might be his 3rd year. Shanahan moves these receivers all over the place. Debo's all over Ayuk's all over the place. So I don't think he's going to be shadowing anybody. But yeah, I like that one. And I was looking towards the first quarter under at 9.5 because I think one of 2 things happens with the Niners. They either eat up a ton of clock running the ball or they don't have success on offense. Either way, the total's 9.5 and I like the under there. Thoughts on over under for Niners Bills? No. And I'm sorry. That's a good question. 47.5. It feels like a lot. I would say in a game where I think the Niners are going to be able to run the ball, 47.5 feels like a lot, but I don't have a play on that. But thank you for the question. If there's anything else, fire away. If not, we'll put a bow on it. You guys are the best. Back Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. We'll talk. It's Patriots at Rams. We'll also do the college football card. And then we'll be back Sunday morning, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Pacific for the full rundown. LOL, no. Yeah, I mean, no, I don't have thoughts on it, unfortunately. I would love to give you thoughts. I don't have them. All right. You guys are awesome. Hopefully this is the new lucky shirt. If not, I got a bunch of other things I can go through. Or maybe just, stop thinking the shirt is the reason for the losing. Anyway, have a great Monday. Have a great week. I'll see you guys Thursday. Enjoy the games.